And the whole weekend went like that, where I was sort of pushing ahead and he just said like, just relax, Aaron, everything is okay. And it wasn't until decades later, it was about 5 years ago, when I looked back and thought of him and realized he was my first deep, powerful teacher of non-duality. He was holding that spaciousness of unity consciousness and was transmitting that to me over the whole time. And I wasn't able to receive that until much later. Yeah,
Well, it went in and it just needed to unfold and flower in your own life for you to be able
exactly.
to even recognize that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So tell me, when you had this experience, I mean, was it something that happened suddenly or was it something that happened slowly over time?
yeah. I would say slowly over time. And certainly too, one of my teachings, as I mentioned, was Taoist, and my teacher received a transmission from his lineage where the spiritual path has 6 stages of duality and also then 6 stages of non-duality. So many sort of levels, little steps all the way through, which I really appreciated through my journey. Sometimes, especially in my lost years, I would forget about this book and I would come back to it and realize, oh, this is where I am in this from this map's perspective. This is how to get me back on the path. So it's been lots of little steps, but this bigger consciousness shift, it happened during a period when I was actually working 18 hours a day, and I was getting up really early and doing a lot of work that I didn't normally do through a whole range of circumstances. And so when I slipped into it, initially, this expanded state of consciousness, initially I was like, wait a minute, am I just depressed? But I was like, wait, no, I've been depressed on and off throughout my earlier life. And like depression feels heavy and dark and dense and sometimes, sticky and small. And this felt expansive, but it felt like open and spacious, but in a way that I wasn't used to, I wasn't integrated with. And that lasted for a few months. I was talking to my friends and like, yeah, I feel different, but I couldn't quite, of course, I couldn't quite put my finger on it because it was different. And it took a few months of that sort of like uncomfortableness before I recall one morning I was up early and looking at the sunrise. And I remember just like bursting into laughter and then tears.